Everyone, we wanted to walk you through our new reporting system. And first and foremost, wanted to point out, if you go to the 4Grantees webpage, you will see some information on the mandatory reporting, including the reporting timeframe. These will be conducted on a quarterly basis to ensure alignment with the Treasury reporting dates that OPB has to abide by as well. There are obviously 4 quarters. Quarter one runs January to March, and it will be due April 15th. Quarter 2 runs April to June, and that'll be due July 15th. Quarter 3 runs July to September, due October 15th. And the 4th quarter is October to December, due January 15th. The required programmatic data is going to be found in the Compliance and Reporting Guide. For some programs, OPB does have additional reporting metrics that we will collect depending on the program. But for most of the programs, to include water, sewer, and broadband, it's taken directly from the Compliance and Reporting Guide. These are subject to change depending on any updates that Treasury provides, but you can follow this link in the Compliance and Reporting Guide for the most up-to-date version of that, to look forward to any changes we might be rolling out in the next quarter. It is the responsibility of the prime recipient to submit accurate and timely reports. Subrecipients who coordinate with contractors or subawards for reporting, such as water, sewer, or broadband, should establish a regular reporting framework to make sure that the information is regularly available for purposes of reporting. We'll also show you in the new platform, there is the ability to have collaborators working on the same reporting for that quarter. You must wait, though, if you have not already established a collaborator, you must wait until it actually opens for editing, and then you can go and establish, collaborators to work on, editing the data, etc. To date, the Davis-Bacon reporting requirements are still mandatory for Treasury reporting. The prevailing wage requirements do apply to projects funded with state fiscal recovery funds with a total project cost of $10 million or greater. And again, that's total project cost, not just the grant award from the state fiscal recovery funds. We understand there is a Treasury FAQ that is currently out that states that projects funded solely with state fiscal recovery funds are not subject to Davis-Bacon. However, they do make us report. Each state has to report on Davis-Bacon prevailing wage requirements if the project is $10 million or greater. That is still a requirement for OPB, and so it does trickle down to the subrecipients. If there's any additional guidance that comes out where this is no longer required, then we will certainly waive it. But to date, this is a requirement, and it is in your reporting as well. All right, and again, you can find this on our 4Grantees webpage. And most of you are, again, are already familiar with SurveyMonkey Apply. If you are not, if you have been awarded under our programs, you would have received an email letting you know that this is the new platform for the mandatory reporting. If you do not already have an account, it would prompt you to go ahead and establish your account. And then I just wanted to reiterate that Apply does have you verify your email account before you can proceed with anything. So if you're kind of stuck in the process and you haven't received anything, just double check your email in your junk box for that verification link. And then once you do that, if you go to, you should be under an applicant. And once you get to this screen, you'll see all of your applications. If you've been awarded, it's going to show as an application, but that is going to be the program. And right now I'm under broadband infrastructure and water sewer. And you can see the deadline here is January 15th at 11:59 p.m. And it says that I have 0 of 1 task to complete. So this is going to be the reporting form. I'm just going to hit start. And you're just going to look a little bit different. I'm actually in here well before it's December 19th, and I'm in here well before this opens. So once it's actually open, you would click on the task, and then this would pop up. But I did want to note quickly here, if I wanted to add the collaborator, I just click. I'm, going to put this in. They can either view and edit or view only, and you can just say, a little note. And then it will send the invite. Okay, so once you click that, your collaborators are here. And again, you can add multiple ones to make it go a little bit faster. And then you would just click on that task. It would turn green to let you know it opens. And then I want to point your attention over here to the left-hand side. Right now it says 0 of 1 task complete. Once you do enter these responses, it's going to say no response right now because, again, it's grayed out. It's not open. I'm in read-only mode. However, once you complete this, you can review it, but you must submit the submit button for this to move to your task being complete to be actually submitted to OPB. Once you submit the form to us, we are able to review that. If we need any additional follow-up questions or a question may be incomplete, we can kick that back to the applicant for further response, and then mark it as complete once we get the follow-up on it. So I want to just take a minute. We're not going to go through all the programs. We're just going to highlight a couple of them. Again, you can go through the compliance and reporting guide for a list of the major reporting questions that you'll need to collect data for, or you can reach out to your program specialist. But I wanted to start with broadband infrastructure because it is the longest. In your actual forms, once you are awarded, again, this is just a test award for us to walk through this with you. This account name, the GA number, the grant program, expenditure category, and project description is all going to be pre-filled for you. So that will already be there. We've already imported all of the awards in, so there's no need to fill those out. You will start with the project status of completion. And you'll choose, not started, completed 50%, 50% or more, et cetera, or complete. Your current period expenditures, this is the amount of expenditures incurred during this quarter and submitted to OPB for reimbursement. We know that many of you have already started your projects, and you may have costs incurred, but not necessarily submitted to OPB for reimbursement. And this number, we're just making sure it lines up with everything. This is the amount of expenditures that you're tracking that you've already submitted to OPB for reimbursement. Cumulative expenditures, same thing, total amount of expenditures to date that have been submitted and approved by OPB for reimbursement. You can find both of these numbers by logging on to your account under the portal, the Georgia Grants portal. And then we move to the infrastructure related questions that are required by Treasury. Projected actual construction start date. If you have not started, you enter your projected date. If you have already started construction, please enter the start date. Projected or actual initiation of operations date. This is the actual month and year that the facilities under this project will be operational. Again, if you've started, you would enter that actual date. If you have not yet, it would be projected. Here's the primary project location. The broadband, we know you have a lot of them. This is actual, just the primary project location. Then you get to your Davis-Bacon certification. Again, these are for projects with a total project cost of over $10 million. Under here, you have 3 different choices. You can certify for Davis-Bacon. You can choose the option that your total project costs do not exceed $10 million and therefore it's not applicable, or that you don't certify for Davis-Bacon. Does the project prioritize local hires? Does the project have a community benefit agreement? And then you move to your broadband specific, confirm that the project is designed to, upon completion, reliably meet or exceed symmetrical 100 over 100 download upload speeds. Confirm that the project is designed to, upon completion, meet or exceed the 100 download speed and between at least 20 and 100 megabits per second upload speed, and be scalable to a minimum of 100 download speed and 100 upload speed. Confirm that the service provider for the project has or will, upon completion of the project, either participated in the FCC's Affordable Connectivity Program or otherwise provided access to a broad-based affordability program that provides benefits to households commensurate with the those provided under the ACP to low-income consumers in the proposed service area of the broadband infrastructure. Project technology types projected. Please select the projected project technology types that the project plans to use. So this is planned, this is projected, and then this is actual. Total miles of fiber deployed, planned. Total miles of fiber deployed, actual. Total number of funded locations planned. Total number of funded locations served, actual. Please enter the actual number of funded locations served receiving 25/3 megabits per second or below. And that's pre-state local fiscal recovery fund investment. In this case, it will be the state fiscal recovery funds. Please enter the actual funded locations receiving 25/3 and 100/20 pre-state fiscal recovery fund investment. Please enter the planned funded locations receiving minimum 100/100. That's post state fiscal recovery fund investment. Please enter the actual funded locations that received minimum 100/100 post state fiscal recovery fund investment. Please enter the planned funded locations receiving 100/20 megabits per second and scalable to a minimum of 100/100 post state fiscal recovery fund investment. Please enter the number of actual funded locations that receive minimum 100/20 and scalable to a minimum of 100/100 post SFRF investment. Total number of planned funded locations served, residential, actual locations served, residential, and then you have planned funded locations for housing and actual locations for housing, and then the same thing for locations served businesses and actual locations served businesses. Total number of planned funded locations served community anchor institutions, as well as the actual funded locations, community anchor institutions. And then we get to the fun part. So location by location project information upload for each of the projects served. The state's required to collect from the subrecipient or contractor the locations and submit these to Treasury. You will use the broadband report location by location template that's provided. There is within this, you download the template. Let's see if, okay, yeah, it does still on the read only. So I'm going to click here. Open this up. So here on this location by location project information, you would just enter your GA number and copy and paste that down into the city, the lat long technology used to offer service at the location type, and you must choose from one of the following. Number of housing units if the location type is residential. Speed tier at the location before the state fiscal recovery fund investment. Speed and latency at the location after the state fiscal recovery investment. Now, we know these may be tricky for some of you, as at this time, you may not have those locations. Where you know the locations, please enter the lat long. If you don't have them, please put NA. And we have talked to Treasury regarding some of the issues you may have with, proprietary information, the data. They have made it very clear to us that this is still a requirement, so we do have to make sure that we provide this. And again, if any of the guidance changes, we'll be sure to let you all know and send out an email. But for now, we do have to report these. So if you have any questions, please reach out to us on this. You'll just put how many locations are being served by your project here, and then right under that, you'll see a box that you can click on to upload your completed template. I will say each month, hang on to this so you can build off of this, save it on your desktop so you're not starting over each time. However, everything else in the form, once you submit that, will be reused the next quarter. It will auto-populate. And then all you have to do is go through these and update the ones that you need to update. So for example, if you have total number of fund locations served planned, and that's 50, and that hasn't changed, then that will just stay the same and you don't need to update that. But if you planned for 50 and right now, maybe you've started your project and right now actually you've only funded 5 locations because you just started going, and then the next quarter you've doubled that, then you can come back in here, leave that as 50 and move this to 10. So we built it that way to save you guys time. We know it is cumbersome and we wanted to try to save you guys time wherever we could. So that is the broadband. Amanda, am I forgetting anything?
I don't think so.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'm just going to briefly go through the drinking water one as well. I'm sorry, water sewer. So water sewer infrastructure and drinking water projects to support increased population will have the same essentially reporting requirements under infrastructure because they're both water sewer programs, just different programs altogether. It will look the same. So whether you're a drinking water or water sewer recipient, it will look like this. Again, you can add the collaborators here. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and click on this. Again, I'm in read only, so I can't really submit, can't add my responses, but everything again up here is going to auto-populate for you, your account name, your grantee, your GA number, etc. You'll start with the project status of completion. Again, the current period expenditures, cumulative expenditures, and then you move into the infrastructure, similar to what we saw on broadband. You have the projected versus actual construction start dates, the projected actual initiation of operations date, the primary location, and moving through the Davis-Bacon wage requirements. And then here is the water sewer portion of this. So you're going to enter your National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit number, if applicable, for projects aligned with the Clean Water State Revolving Fund. And then the Public Water System ID number, also if applicable, for the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund projects that align to that. If you do not have either one of these or they're not applicable, you're going to enter an NA. And then you're going to put in the median household income of your service area. And this is a requirement, as well as the lowest quintile income of the service area. And compared to broadband, that seems short and sweet. And you would just go up here and click submit. And then that would complete the task, send it over to OPB for review. All right, and I'm going to kick it over to Amanda to review the negative economic impact portion.
So I'm just going to briefly walk you through what it's going to look like for our NEI grantees. So again, once you're logged into the SurveyMonkey Apply platform, you're going to be taken to a screen that has your applications. So for negative economic impact, I'm going to start this one here. Again, same thing as Jen has explained. Everything's grayed out right now and in read-only mode because we're not at the January 1 opening date. But over here, you can add a collaborator. And then I'm going to click on this task to open it up. And here we're going to see the actual reporting tool. So again, these first few boxes are going to be pre-populated for you, including the account or grantee name, the GA number, the grant program, the project expenditure category, project description, and you're going to be starting with the project status of completion. Then next is going to be current period expenditures. So again, that's going to be for this reporting period, this quarter only that you're reporting for. Then there's cumulative expenditures for the life of the project. Project demographic distribution. So what impacted and or disproportionately impacted population does this project primarily serve? Then we go down to capital expenditures, and you're going to answer the questions below for capital expenditures. Does this project include a capital expenditure? What is the total expected capital expenditure, including pre-development costs, if applicable? And what is the type of capital expenditure for this project based on the following enumerated uses? And you're going to have drop-down options for these. If this is not applicable, then you'll choose not applicable. Next, we go to subrecipients investing in projects with total expected capital expenditures of 1 million or more. Labor reporting for projects over 10 million. Then we have the Davis-Bacon certification. So again, if this does not apply, then you'll select does not apply. Otherwise, you're going to pick the appropriate response for the Davis-Bacon certification. And then below that, does the project prioritize local hires? Does the project have a community benefit agreement? And then for use of evidence, what is the dollar amount of the total project spending that is allocated towards evidence-based interventions, if applicable? And if it's not applicable, you can put NA. Lowest quintile income of the service area. And then is a program evaluation of the project being conducted? Again, once you have all of these fields completed appropriately, you're going to come back up and you're going to hit the submit button. And that's it for NEI.
Perfect. Thanks so much. So that is really it in a nutshell. We know we have way more programs than that, but wanted to give you an idea of what that's going to look like. Again, you can go to the compliance and reporting guide to know what to prepare for as far as the data collection, but it will be the same information we collected from you the last quarter, just in a much more organized fashion. And we really like the outlay of apply. It gives us the ability to go back and forth rather than closing a survey on you. If we need some follow-up, we can go back and forth, and so that's great too. But your program specialist, if you need any help, they're here for you to, walk you through the process or any questions, concerns that you have. You can also reach out to us in the grants box at grants@opb.georgia.gov. Thank you guys so much. We hope you guys really like the new streamlined process, and we're looking forward to receiving all these. Have a wonderful day.